Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Joan, and today's video I'm going to be talking to you about filming in 16mm. So last semester I decided to take this class. I had no clue what I was getting myself into, but little did I know that I would learn how to use a Bolex, and that's the type of camera that I used. There's different 16mm cameras besides the Bolex. You can use an Airy, which is another camera that they taught us, but between the two, it runs on a motor and it's much more smooth. However, when you film with a Bolex, you have to do it mechanically, which means you're pretty much cranking the winder, and it kind of reminds me of using an analog film camera when you take stills. So that's something that's different, and I think working with a Bolex is much easier, but my professor would like to say that the Airy S is easier, and it's all about your preference. So throughout the whole class I decided to use the Bolex, and so pretty much you're going to see the behind the scenes of creating one of my projects that I actually shared, but I never really got to talk about it. And I think it's really interesting to step up from just taking stills and making video content. So keep watching and I'll explain my whole process on working on this project. So first off, I have to load the camera, and I use film stock Kodak Tri-X reversal film. Apparently it's actually harder, they say, to film in black and white than color, but that's a whole nother thing that I'm not sure of, so I'm not going to elaborate on that. Once you get the hang of figuring out how to load the film, it's not so hard, and that's common sense. But for me, it took a while. We practice with dummy rolls, which pretty much are like film that's exposed already that you could just practice on using to load the camera, so then you can get it used to it and not have to waste actual film that you buy, because film is very expensive. And if you're already complaining on how much expensive film is for just taking photos, what more if you're gonna do motion picture? After I load the film on the Bolex, I actually, well, this is like after doing all the pre-production stuff of like planning out my film. So afterwards, the actual day of filming, I asked my friends to all help me out as my crew. They actually, some are just photographers, some actually have a film background, and some just wanted to be a part of it. So it was really interesting to see all of us collaborate for the first time on something that I've been wanting to work on, which was a school assignment, which was pretty much to just film something that showed examples of angles that were on a list on a piece of paper. But instead of just filming the angles, the camera angles as is, I wanted to make something more out of it, so I made this artistic abstract piece, which pretty much was like this diabolical scientist, doctor, you name it, with a lab coat. And he just pretty much, there was no really intention in what he would do, but I just knew what type of shots I wanted to do, so I storyboarded it, and there's no necessarily a narrative. I just knew how I wanted it to look. I knew what movement I wanted, and then so I directed my friend to do what I put on my storyboard, and my friends just helped me out when it came to shaping the light and how to put it all together. And it was really interesting. learned in my 16mm class was how to cut. Another thing that I learned in class was how to do the post-production with 16mm, which I thought was insane because like I know how to use the darkroom and print with an enlarger, that's photography wise, but then with film, motion picture is just totally different. You have this table where you have like this little monitor where you can see what exactly you filmed, and then you cut and splice, that's like the term, and it's like a long strip of film, and like you go through it over and over and over. So it's pretty much using the idea of using Final Cut and or Premiere or whatever movie program you use digitally but in analog. And my professor says that if you know how to cut and edit with analog film, it definitely makes you a better editor. And I'm not sure because I haven't done it so much, but it definitely is a long process and you respect it more because you wonder how they've done this before. In my school, they don't necessarily scan the film for you, so you get a digital copy. So I outsourced and went somewhere in New York to scan my film so I could get a copy of it and be able to share it online or share it anywhere digitally. And in my school though, it's cool that I got to see my film projected on an actual projector in class, but then I got to also experience seeing it, get it projected on a big screen in a movie theater, which I didn't think would happen, but it gave me the hopes of, you know, one day when I actually do a feature film, what it would feel like to see it on a big screen. I think it's such an enormous feeling compared to seeing your photo printed big, but what more if you created something through video and then it's on a big screen for a massive audience to watch. So this was pretty much the starting of me filming on 16mm. I actually did a trial, meaning I filmed someone else to do the same exact things, sort of what I intended on filming for this project, just so I could figure out my mistakes and then actually film the actual thing. And then from there I still learned from any mistakes from this actual project, and then which led me to continue filming. And it wasn't something that I'll admit, like I thought it was something that I would be afraid of doing, but then the fact that I was able to film and create something out of it makes me want to make more. And I hope you guys enjoy watching it. It's on my channel. It's called Dissuade. A lot of people ask me why it's called that, and I forgot why, but I knew I put some sort of like sentence, and I wanted to find a word that meant whatever sentence I wrote on Google the day of, and Dissuade came up, and that's why I chose it. And sometimes I feel bad that there's like no hardcore meaning behind things that I create, but it is what it is, and that's the truth. And I would feel bad if I lied and made something up and that wasn't even true. So that's the truth behind that. And yeah, thank you for watching and stay tuned to the next video. Okay.